Hi, everybody. Welcome to the GameGO podcast, a podcast where we talk about video games and whatever the hell else we feel like talking about. I'm H8BitHero.
I'm Sonorith. Hi, guys.
And we're GameGO.
We are GameGo.
Talk about, what, the last week? We've been consistent, right?
Yep.
Cool.
I think the last 2-3 episodes we've been
doing our job good.
Yep. Anyway, hope you guys are having a great week. There's been a lot of gaming news and
a lot of good games just out.
Yeah.
I feel, in general, it's just a good time to be a gamer. Yeah. This is
All right. Let's jump into the news. First up, Diablo 3 for the Switch, maybe. Last week, early on, Diablo Blizzard Entertainment, creators of Diablo, tweeted a picture of Diablo's head, like, as a light switch. People were thinking, does that mean it's coming to the Switch? Is that their way of teasing it?
Oh, Diablo Switch.
Yes, Blizzard was like, we're not that clever. There's nothing to announce. Which, okay, that's fine. But then an insider has told Eurogamer that they are working on it, but there's no announcement for a few months. It's a few months away. I'm assuming like at E3 they're probably going to say something. The problem I have with this is not a big one, but if you're going to tweet something like that, do you think no one's going to get it? Like, is that your way of being clever and like, oh, like, it's a cryptic picture, no one's going to know what this means. So when they say they don't have a comment, it's like, okay, well, you put the picture up yourself.
That's a comment.
Yeah, I don't know. It just, you have nothing to say even though you're the ones that, you should be prepared to, like, back up. I don't know. I mean, maybe this is all BS because it is just a rumor, I don't know. Maybe the insider is not being completely honest. But they probably are. I mean, Diablo is not a graphically intensive game.
Right.
So
it would be really easy to just throw onto whatever else.
I think so. And so yeah, they have nothing to announce, but come on.
Just tell us when it's happening.
Yeah. Speaking of games coming to the Switch, Iron Galaxy has offered to Capcom that they want to port Monster Hunter World to the Switch. Now, Iron Galaxy is the team that worked with Bethesda to port Skyrim to the Switch.
Which is great.
That's great. They also ported Arkham Knight to the PC.
Which was awful.
It was bad. People were getting refunds for that. And I think they even canceled the season. No. Did they cancel the season pass for that one?
That I don't know.
Either way, yeah. The PC port was, like, infamously bad. But then they also did the Handsome Collection for Borderlands. They brought Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel to PS4 and Xbox One. And that worked great, I think. Generally, like, I played it and I didn't have any problems with it. So, I mean, and then from what I'm hearing, the Arkham Knight problem was that they didn't have enough time. They only had 2 months. But then that also seems kind of just a mismanagement. I don't know. I'm excited because I think Monster Hunter World on the Switch would also sell well. And
I think Monster Hunter World on anything that it ends up on is going to... Has any Monster Hunter been on PC?
I don't think so, and it's coming to PC later.
Okay, yeah, like, I imagine that they should want it just on everything.
Yeah, so, I mean, hopefully Capcom, I saw somebody saying, like, they're basically begging for a job on Twitter, because that's where they tweeted at them. I'm like, no, they're just trying to get the community to be like, yeah, do that, like, let them do it.
Yeah.
And maybe that is a little underhanded, but I don't think there's any malicious
Even if it
intent.
Is them looking for work, so
yeah, it's as simple as blocking that or ignoring the text and the tweet, and then Capcom has no pressure on them at that point.
Yeah.
Speaking of Monster Hunter World, though, that actually leads into my next story I wanted to mention. They've shipped 7.5 million, and they have 7 million people playing the game now.
Jeez, man.
And is now their best-selling game of all time.
Well, it already was that,
It was their fastest selling game, I think, for that early push, and I think now it is past everything.
Damn!
So all the Mega Mans, Resident Evil, what else did they do? Goof Troop.
Goof Troop, even.
They passed that game. Yeah, so it just seems like whatever this team does, they can't really do any wrong, hopefully.
That's pretty awesome, man. It's just... It's great to see everybody just enjoying so universally this thing. And I hate that I still haven't gotten in on it because I'm like trying to get out of the way like a bunch of other stuff I've had on my backlog. Last thing I need to do is add more to it. But yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, hopefully this affords the team some opportunities and more support for the game, because it's still good and I'm still playing it. I just got the Aloy costume the other day. They actually added a quest called Wiggle Me This. There's these little like worm eel things that stick out of the ground, and you can capture them. They're not like monsters; they're just indigenous creatures. So this quest has you collecting like 10 of them, and you can end up making a giant wiggler head for your armor.
That sounds inappropriate.
No, it looks like a mascot or something. So like you can have this cool like super bulky or really elaborate armor that looks really awesome, just cool, and then you have a wiggler head on top of everything.
Like we're talking a funny, like fuzzy, like college mascot style,
something like that. Except it actually wiggles, even though there's not really anything in there.
And now it got inappropriate again.
It looks fine. I want to see more of that silly stuff, because I mean, like they even in one of the older games they have a greatsword that's just a marlin, like a big swordfish.
Okay.
That's frozen, and you're just swinging it by the nose.
I mean, what else would you do with? When you're looking for the pinnacle of efficiency in a blade,
you need a swordfish. But yeah, like that's a good sign for me at least that they can go crazy with it. Kind of, they don't have to just make everything so serious.
Yeah, because it does have a very realistic look. It has a I'm not gonna say a dark tone at all, but it is a serious kind of war tone to it. Right? It's them versus the monsters.
They treat it more like you would a natural animal.
Disaster or something like that.
Just the fact that it's not, they know the monsters aren't evil, they're animals. So their first intent is to study it, and if it gets dangerous, then you have to put it down.
Okay.
But yeah, like
for as serious a situation as it is, and it's not even that it's dire. It's just everybody here knows exactly the situation and how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that they can be super silly still, like with the Palicos, just the Palicos themselves, their existence. Then on top of that, you got that beefy one freaking cooking up for you and everything with his awesome team.
It's good. It's fun. And hopefully they add more stuff. But moving on. Witcher Geralt. Geralt the
Witchman, yes.
The Witchman. Geralt the Witcher is rumored to be appearing in Soul Calibur 6. Now, if you've never played Soul Calibur, if you've never heard of it, this is a fighting game with mostly weapons. I think every character has a weapon, and that's kind of like the thing.
Yeah, about. One of the first exceptions was Hayachi when he showed up.
Oh, yeah.
But they ended up giving him like some knuckle bracer kind of things.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so it's a weapon fighting game, and every game since 2, I think, has had a guest star or stars.
Mm-hmm.
I know Spawn was in the Xbox version on the second game. There was Link and Heihachi for the GameCube and PlayStation 2 versions. The third one, I don't remember who they had at all. But the fourth one was like Star Wars, so they had Darth Vader and Yoda. Fifth one had Ezio from Assassin's Creed. And now, so everyone is kind of wondering who's going to be the new guest fighter. Well, the first hint here is that it's going to be Geralt the Witcher. Because the CD Projekt Red community manager, lead, the Marcin Momo, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name.
Marcin Momo, yeah, I would think is how it's pronounced. I don't think that's Mamat.
Yeah, he tweeted basically, what if Geralt was going to step out of the Witcher game for the very first time to make an appearance in one of the upcoming games later this year? That he's going to cross over into something. I think this is the most appropriate game, especially considering Bandai Namco is publishing this and I believe Soul Calibur 6.
It would be super easy because they don't have any legal issues here. Whereas they had to talk to other companies to get the other guys in.
Like they wanted to get Cloud for 2.
Uh-huh.
They ended up getting Heihachi because that didn't work out.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah. Geralt is cool. I would love to see him in this game.
He absolutely appropriate. He seems like anyone else who could be in this game. I mean, you have really, really well-endowed ninjas who are jumping around left and right. You have a dude with nunchucks who is essentially a pirate. Like Geralt, a swordsman who hunts witches, is absolutely...
He hunts monsters, not just witches.
Well, I mean, then maybe they shouldn't call him the Witcher.
It's a weird thing, yeah. Anyway, so yeah. That should be cool. I'd hope he is in the game. And if not him, then somebody. I mean, I can't imagine who else would be in it.
It's always exciting to see who they throw in because like even Darth Vader and Yoda were totally fine in the game.
They were out of left field.
They were out of left field, but they still fit fine in there.
Although the idea that anything can stand up to a lightsaber, kind of
that's dumb. Like I don't. They really should have just had it like, oh, we lost our sabers and now we just have
light swords. They're just swords that glow.
I don't know what would have been an appropriate replacement for that.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. The Nintendo Switch is about a year old now.
Congratulations, Switch. You and I have been having a pretty nice relationship. It started out a little rough. I'm sorry. I didn't see your full potential, but now...
He didn't see a future.
Your eShop is just brimming with amazing titles that I know I'll never be able to play because of time. Every game coming out is just another one that I'm looking forward to, with the exception of some of Nicholas's stuff sometimes, and the $30 bargain bin ones, POI, and games like that.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, the reason
Troll and I
brought that one, yeah. So the reason I brought up the Switch and the year since it came out is because the playtimes for people's games have been resetting or erasing or something. It's basically an error displaying how long you've been playing. Normally after you played, I think after like 2 weeks of play, it'll start saying you've played 50 hours of Zelda, 100 hours of Zelda, 150 hours of Zelda. But
3,000 hours
of Zelda. But lately it's been displaying as last played a few days ago or a week ago. Basically how it was when the Switch first came out, or when you just started playing the game. People have been upset because it erased their playtime, which, I mean, I don't really mind either way, but it's still nice to know how long you've been playing some games. But Nintendo has, acknowledged it. They admitted it was an error. They're going to try to fix the bugs. But they're saying that it's just an error in displaying what's out there. It's not. It's still recording everything that you're doing. I mean,
right.
as far as playtime.
The player's data of actual playtime still intact.
Yes.
It's just an issue grabbing it and telling you exactly what it's supposed to be.
Exactly. So if you've been noticing this error or whatever, just rest easy. Nintendo's gonna take care of it at some point. And your gameplay is still being recorded. At least your playtime is. Yeah. PlayStation.
That's good, because I want everybody to know exactly how many minutes I've been playing of every game forever.
Ever. All right. PlayStation Plus is ending free game support for the PlayStation 3 and the Vita. So every month, PlayStation will announce maybe 6 titles spread across the 3 platforms, PS3, PS4, and PS Vita, to give for free, basically. Well, not free, but if you have PlayStation Plus,
you get it for that month, right?
For free. Well, you can download them for free during that month. After that month, you can just play them. I mean,
it's yours?
Yes, you can still play them after the month is up.
Oh, but you can't re-download them.
You can re-download them. You cannot.
So the license is being given away for that month.
You have that month to add it to your library.
And now that it's gone on PS3 and Vita, I understand it.
They will no longer offer free games. You can still play those games that have been offered before that you did add to your library.
Your PlayStation 3s and Vitas will explode.
Pretty much. No, yeah, you could still play. You have until February of next year, 2019. So
explode with awesome games.
Exactly. It's not going to end, obviously this year. So just keep in mind that they are winding down the PS3 and the Vita. The Vita was kind of a failure, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And the PS3, that came out like 10 years ago or something.
Yeah, that one had to last a while because of the recession.
I mean, honestly, they did good with what they had.
They didn't do terrible. It's why the Move came out.
Well, I mean, that was also they were also trying to copy Nintendo's like whole motion control craze.
The way I heard it when it was happening, when that and the Kinect were coming out, is that was basically because the world can't afford another console right now during the regular console cycle of like 5 to 6 years. They decided, let's just release motion controls for the ones we have. And that elongated both of their both of their generation years.
Which, okay, that makes sense. Although, I mean, it seems even now, though, that they are trying to distance themselves from that generation thing. I mean, the PlayStation and the Xbox have both released basically an between console, like the Pro and the One X. So, whatever happened, at least, I don't know. Yeah, just that's weird that happened. Anyway, Indeed. Point being, you have another year of free games. You can still play the ones that you already owned, and PlayStation 4 is still going to be getting them. So look to updating or upgrading to, a PS4, because it looks like the PS3 is winding down right now anyway.
Yeah, it's been a while with the PS3, and I think the last couple of years are already, you're lucky you had that much.
I mean, I forgot that even Red Dead Redemption 1 was on the PS3.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a while ago. They're already making the sequel to it. But yeah, it sucks to have any service kind of winding down like the Miiverse or this for the PlayStation 3. But, bigger and better things in the future, right? At least I hope so.
Yeah.
Speaking of the past, Battlefield 5 or Battlefield V, I think it's 5.
Battlefield.
Anyway, they're going back to World War II. Finally, to explore that historic conflict between the planet, basically.
And COD.
Actually, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, 3, 4. 4 is also going to be not World War II, but it's going to be going back to a more grounded.
So everybody seems like they're getting tired of the futuristic thing. So now we're all just going to have this avalanche of nostalgic retro WW2-ness with all our new game mechanics. We're going to get exhausted with that within months.
World War II is still fun on Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
They took out the stuff that was thematically inappropriate, like the jetpacks I've mentioned before. That stuff's all gone. They do have some things to make it more, I don't know, fun or unique for however you want to be playing the game. So that's still cool, and I'm hoping that whatever Battlefield 5 does, or V, I think it's 5. Or you know what though, because they called it V-Day when we won World War II.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, this new Battlefield going to World War II, I'm hoping that it is all just good. It's not anything weird, or they're trying to like mix it up by embellishing certain things.
Kind of like Bad Company.
What did they
where they
do
made it
one?
like a cinematic kind of campaign?
Yeah, I don't have any problem with like a campaign or anything, and they're probably going to do that like they did with the Battlefield 1, the new one, not the original one. They did a series of like short campaign stories, which was cool, and if they do that again, that's fine. I just mean like, I hope that, we secretly invented jetpacks and, stuff like that.
Oh, some retconning of actual history to fit it into the game mechanics?
Something like that. I don't think they would.
Sometimes it's okay, but then it's like we had the heartbeat sensor going on in the Call of Duty Vietnam War one.
Did
what?
They?
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So hopefully they'll keep things legit. Yeah. Anyway, Bethesda is going to be having another showcase the weekend before E3. Don't know what they're going to be showing off, though. I mean, they've had, Prey last year, Doom, Skyrim, and Fallout have been coming out to, like, every other console. I think Dishonored's finished after the Death of the Outsider standalone thing they did. So I'm not sure what they're going to be showing here, except maybe they're going to be doing some Prey DLC. The Prey Twitter account has been more active in the last month, and they recently tweeted, "Do we really know what's out there?" And then it had like a video of the moon, basically.
No, we know what's everywhere. Remember, they got through the walls.
All right. Anyway, so the idea is that there's going to be a DLC set on the moon, and that wouldn't be bad.
The moon has no walls. You can't wall hack that.
Exactly. We played Prey early on in GameGo's history, and it was fun, but the loading times and some other stuff just kind of made it a chore.
I don't know if I'd even have called it fun at the end. Like, I didn't really want to keep playing it. Like, it was not awful what we were going through, but I don't I don't even remember where we left off.
I just remember that we kept on having to go from place to place, and the loading time for that was like obscenely large.
I turned a person into resources once.
Oh yeah, we were throwing bodies. Yeah, that's right. Good game.
You know what? That game was fun. Let's get that game and just turn people into stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. The gravity bomb, huh?
Yeah, and it was great because there was even that journal entry that mentions
she lost her leg or something.
Yeah.
And then we finished the job.
And then we, like, right next to it, we picked up what became of her leg.
Oh, that's right.
That's why it was next to the journal.
That was a really good game. I liked that kind of stuff. That was cool. And then just the journals about every character and person on the station was cool. But a DLC would be cool if it's a standalone thing that you can kind of play without the larger experience. That would be fun too. But yeah, I mean, whatever Bethesda has for E3, I'm excited to see what they announced. Last year, I think, was also Wolfenstein 2, right? They had the diner was set up at E3.
We didn't go into it, did we?
There was a huge line for those strawberry milkshakes or whatever.
And that's why we didn't.
Yeah.
What? You know what else too? For no reason, it kind of reminded me of the set for Mafia 3.
Mafia 3?
Yeah, Mafia 3. For no real reason, because, I mean, I guess it's just the fact that it was a big, realistic brick building.
And old-timey kind of thing.
Yeah, because the other one was, all southern, what is it? Bourbon?
New Orleans?
Bourbon Street? Is that what that's what it is. Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
Mardi Gras themed. There we go.
All right. So, yeah, Bethesda's hopefully going to show off more than just whatever this DLC might be. Next up, StarCraft is turning 20 years old. Man, I cannot believe I played that game when I was like 7.
Mm-hmm.
That first one was great. And to celebrate, Blizzard's going to be giving some goodies to anybody playing most of their other games. I think World of Warcraft, there wasn't anything for it. But if you're playing Overwatch, Widowmaker is going to be getting a skin modeled after Sarah Kerrigan when she's still human and a sniper. I thought this was going to be like first before Nova, but I mean, now you have 2 StarCraft characters to pick from when you want to play Widow.
Nice.
Diablo 3 is going to be getting a battlecruiser pet. That's like a big, like a capital ship, a warship. Hearthstone's going to be getting a StarCraft-themed tavern brawl sometime this month, and that's kind of they kind of mess up the rules and let you do something fun for that. Those are usually pretty cool. Heroes of the Storm is going to get a brawl too, but they're also going to get portraits, and they're going to add a new StarCraft character coming soon. They haven't really mentioned anything besides that. And then for StarCraft Remastered, you get a new console skin and a sale starting today, and it's going until the 20th of March.
Damn.
And StarCraft 2 is going to get console skins, portraits, achievements, and decals, which will go on all of your buildings and units when you're playing against other people.
That's freaking StarCraft. It's amazing. There's still this. Here's a bunch of stuff. Don't forget about that guy.
Yeah, and then they did release that remastered version a few months ago.
Yeah,
and it looks the way you remember it, but isn't actually looking now.
Like I keep saying, I'm terrible at RTSs, and my only memory of StarCraft is getting completely horribly Zerg rushed by a friend who just had no mercy with people who didn't know how to play.
Yeah, that's not fun. The
screen just looked like static.
Purple and orange static
everywhere.
Yeah. All right. Well, so yeah, the StarCraft 2 or 1, I should say, 20 years old. Man,
congrats.
Yeah. Amazon is Oh, you know what? Amazon listed. They leaked the existence of Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 3.
Nice.
Did you ever play those?
I haven't. I saw a friend play a little bit of it, and it's like, this is not something I should ignore. This feels really like cool. This feels like an alternate in between. Like, you know how Splatoon is a shooter that is non-violent?
Yes.
This seems like if you were to still stick to realism without replacing the physical guns with paint, like if you still had something that shoots a thing, then you get Plants vs Zombies.
That's true to an extent.
Garden Warfare, specifically.
It's basically Battlefield. There's class-based combat. You can in the first one, I don't know if in the second one, but in the first one you could even be like a leader to like oversee the field and deploy buffs to your people where you needed it.
Okay.
But that game was a lot of fun. Like, you had the little pea shooters that would just shoot but you also had these giant piranha plant looking things, or Venus flytrap, I guess I should say.
Okay.
They could attack and eat people from behind, or just bite them from the front to do damage, or they could burrow in the ground and come up beneath somebody and eat them. And if I think they were dead, but you couldn't eat somebody and you move slower until you were done digesting them.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So if their teammates were watching, they could just kill you, and so it was barely
so
worth it.
you don't get too many of them in the same fashion.
Yeah.
You got a kill, so now you're debuffed. I get it.
Yeah, it was really cool. The zombies had a bunch of weird characters too, and there were like defense modes. It's really fun, and I think there was a bit of a story in the second one. Or I mean, there's a story for the whole series so far, but they I think kind of embellished more on it in the second game. So there was a comic that said Plants vs. Zombies Volume 2 or something bridges the events between the second and third game.
What?
There's only the second game so far.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they've kind of screwed the pooch on that one. I think the listing is still up, too, on Amazon UK, I want to say.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's a really fun game. You should check this one out at least.
Are they free, or are they free with pay stuff in there?
They're not free.
Okay.
But I think there is stuff you can buy, even though you earn a lot of stuff too. Like I never felt the need to buy anything in the game, because you earn a lot of points and then you can just buy stuff.
Okay.
And it's cool because you get stickers basically. So you buy a sticker pack, and there's a variety of them based on like, do you want to mostly get this theme or this team or the zombies or the plants, and you would get parts like of a character, and there's 5 parts per character, but they're just variations on the one that already exist. Mm-hmm. So there's the plant I was telling you about, the Venus flytrap, but there's parts of him that make him look like Chester Cheetah. They had like a promotion with Cheetos or something. So he had God. Big sunglasses. He was orange, and his trap that he could lay was cheesy instead of like slimy, like from a plant.
Okay.
Stuff like that. Or there's like a little pea shooter who is icy. So I think his attacks actually slow people down. It was cool. Yeah, this game is crazy fun. So if you guys do not sleep on this one, you should play it if you've never played them. Play the second one. Third one's coming out. That's something to look forward to. But yeah, that's all the news for today. So what have you been playing?
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, a lot of good news, but a lot of good games we've been playing, right?
Damn, man, just such good stuff.
Too much good stuff. Del Taco.
I love fighting your segue.
Fight me, Del Taco.
So yeah, I think there's just this really nice renaissance of retro games going on right now, retro indie games. Because we got a couple of them that we've played.
Hold on, is Too Much Good Stuff Del Taco's thing?
No, that's AMPM.
That's AMPM, sorry.
Neither of which are sponsors.
They should be.
# sponsor us.
Please, yeah. So what have you been yeah, retro games.
So, I tried out Dandara. I was looking through the eShop, and I was kind of conflicted with some purchases. And I ended up landing on Dandara and Heart and Slash. And both of them are $15 right now on the eShop. I think one of them was on sale when I grabbed it last week. But anyway, Dandara, I got that based on a video I watched from Donkey, who was talking about really good games, I think from 2 years ago. I think it's a 2016 video.
I think he was talking about like PAX or something.
Okay. And he was talking about games to look out for. He also mentioned Owlboy, which I want to do sometime soon. But Dandara is a really cool game that seems like it takes a lot from the format and presentation of Dark Souls without the same theme of like darkness and sadness. Though everything is, in fact, it seems like it's post-apocalyptic. It doesn't seem like there's anybody around. There was some kind of war or something that divided these people. So you can, in your starting rounds or starting area, you'll see several, the only people in here are like 2 friends in this whole map. And those streets and everything are like laden with soldiers and traps for regular people to be walking around for them to lay victim to. I guess that's how you say it. Anyway. It's a good game. It's a platformer, unlike, any other platformer where you're jumping and running around. Dandara, unfortunately, for reasons that haven't been explained yet, as far as we've seen, she doesn't run, and there's no like regular typical like jumping. Gravity is also kind of weird in this game. When you enter different areas, sometimes the entire map rotates. And so when you're looking at the actual in-game map too, that's very important to take into account. You'll think you're on the top left entrance, and in fact you're like bottom left entrance. Yeah,
Right.
that didn't sound as confusing there, but when you're looking at a map, a rotation of 90 degrees can completely vary how you're going to get through it.
Yeah.
And more importantly, even if it's not that difficult to you, you still do need to know like how the map rotated and match it up with your in-game map, your menu map. Yeah, really cool game that's putting up a bunch of like different cool elements together. That the boss fights in it are pretty freaking awesome, and you're thinking at first that there's not a whole lot to go with on the fact you get around by aiming almost like a puzzle bobble style, wherever it is that you want to go to. If that particular area is covered in salt, which is like instead of souls, this place has salt. You use salt to spend on your upgrades when you rest at your camp. You can stand in salt, but you can't stand in anything else. Yeah, it's a theme. So I kind of forgot where I was going with that. Anyway, oh, the movement. I'm sorry. Just you aim towards the ceiling and the floor, and that's how you get across like an entire hallway. Or if it's vertical, then left and right walls. And as you're going upward, you really quickly get the hang of it, and it starts feeling really cool right away. But it also leaves the potential for you to like mess up really bad. The way you can fire some projectiles at an enemy, but those projectiles only fly so far. This means you have to get within range, and it is very, very easy to when you start getting the hang of movement, very easy to like have a lot of momentum and forget that you need to land next to your enemy and not like on him. That happened to both me and Sano while we were checking out the game.
Yeah.
That's an important thing to remember. You can't just keep the same mindset as you would in other games too, because like what the first boss we fought, the way that you fight him, it really would not be a problem in any other game. But because you're of the mode of movement in this one, there's no actually just moving directly left and right. So you can't just take a step to the left or right. It needs to be a jump to another wall when you want to dodge an enemy, when you want to get out of enemy fire or harm. So that's the biggest challenge, is when you start shifting your mindset to move like that. But when you keep it in mind, it just ends up becoming a really fun and well-tailored like experience for this particular movement type. There were a couple of rooms where it's like, if you could just move left and right, this would not absolutely be an issue. And instead I'm forced to move in this way. But then also, if I was able to just run left and right and slash at these guys, it would not be anywhere near as fun. Yeah. The game is really cool. It's got a really nice vibe to it. Also, something that I don't think is going to be said about either the feature of HD Rumble or this game's use of it. I'm pretty sure this is going to be something that just gets by everybody else, but I was sitting in the bus. I started playing this game, and I thought that I had this thing on like a 5.1 surround sound stereo with subwoofers, because it likes to use the HD Rumble to accent the sound in your hand. It feels like it's simulating the rumbles from like a way more powerful bass. And when you're sitting there listening to it on your headphones alone, like no one's distracting you, it really pulled me in. It really felt like good to feel it rumble the way it did. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun with it. It wasn't immediately like, you mentioned that the world's all jacked up.
Mm-hmm.
So just exploring everything feels really weird when you like you said, you can't move left and right. There was a point where I like was on a moving platform and I couldn't jump to anything around me as it's pushing me to the end of the room. But there are plenty of like things to explore. Turns out that that's a whole puzzle where you have to go to like another room or rooms to like double back and re-explore that area, and that it adds it just makes really good use of that mechanic, and then the fact that this is all just the same room that I've seen before, but now like I have another reason to explore it and go back to it. And it feels almost like you mentioned it feels like Metroid, which is totally spot on because you get an ability or abilities.
Once you get the abilities, like specifically, it's fairly early in the game when you got your green projectile missile thing.
Yeah.
That once you unlock that, I'm like, oh damn! I was trying to put my finger on what this game felt like, and as soon as he got that and broke open those walls, it was like, this is like Metroid, but yeah, no running or jumping.
And then on top of that, you also get an ability that helps you jump further. So now, like, previously inaccessible, you only have a certain range to jump at.
Yeah.
But with this upgrade, you now occasionally get the ability to jump, like, across a room or a chasm.
Just a way greater range. So it's using the very familiar, you can't cross this until you find the pickup that does this, and it's using it really well. Not only that, but then the way that it looks and the sound that it's got, the game itself.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I cut you off.
Oh, I was just going to say about the upgrades.
Okay. Well, alongside all this, really, really good, solid gameplay. Very solid. Playing it, it's responding to exactly what you're doing, and it gives you a lot of visual feedback to let you know that, or let you confirm that what you want to be doing is happening. The graphics themselves, it's between 16 and 32-bit kind of graphic style.
Yeah.
It absolutely looks stunning. The sprite work, the animations, the small effects that happen to occur every once in a while, they were all done very well, very beautifully animated, and the sound is unlike anything I've ever really heard in most games like this. And it's very unique and lends itself to the, like, mysteriousness of this world covered in salt.
Yeah. The music, especially. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It just seems very passive, but there's, like, you mentioned, like, small percussion instruments in the back that make it feel, like, really almost primal, I want to say, but not, like, in an aggressive way. More like I said, it's more of a tranquil, you're exploring this ruined world, and it really brings you in. And then, like, during the boss fight too, the music is it's just really good. I can't say much more than that.
Go for it. When I didn't know how I wanted to spend my cash on the eShop, and I was a little conflicted, but thinking about the Donkey review and just the small bit, because we've only seen the first map up to the first boss, it's like, this is worth more than what we paid for, and it's $15 right now. I would, if I had to throw a number on it right now, with as little as I know about it, it's probably like 7, 8 out of 10, because it is doing really good. It is using the effects and elements and game mechanics that it's throwing at you. It's using them in really cool ways.
Yeah, probably just an 8, like, solid.
Mm-hmm.
7 I wouldn't give to a game that we're giving this high praise for.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Also did Heart and Slash, which is a little game by a dev called Badlands.
Yeah.
The Badlands, I think that's what they're called. Yeah. So I have never been more conflicted about, like, how happy I am with this game. Is really cute. It's really visually appealing in the simplistic art style it has. Like Sonorith had mentioned while watching and checking it out. He was like, it reminds me of Mega Man Legends. And at first I thought the music was like, no, he's talking about just the squarey graphics and, like, the way everything has a really flat, bold face to it, I guess.
Even the way that the main character runs.
Oh, okay.
Like, just the way, like, he just completely, like, carefree. I don't know.
So visually, like, things were really reminding you of Mega Man Legends.
Yeah.
And I can totally agree and see it because, yeah, I see the same thing there. Yeah, this game, Heart and Slash, it's a roguelike brawler, roguelike action game.
Yeah.
Where you are... I think the intro starts 1,000 years after the Robocalypse.
100.
100 years after the robocalypse, whatever that means. You're going down an elevator shaft. You go through what looks like some kind of research laboratory or something, and you get your first couple of weapons. It's a roguelike, so the first 3 weapons, or, well, more like power-ups, I should say, because they're not always weapons.
Yeah.
They're dropped down right there. You pick them up. You do what you can with those. Map is randomly generated. The treasures, enemies, all of that. It's a roguelike. It's all randomly generated, and it's pretty damn fun. It's not as tight or as responsive, I'm going to say, as Dandara was, or even just most other action games that I've been playing lately. Like, you're going to notice a little bit of a delay between when you hit the button to attack either slow or fast and when your action actually starts. So you're going to have to really keep in mind how long everything takes to commit to an action and what properties does every attack have. It's really cool. This game looked a lot more simple than I thought it was going to be, and it very, very, very quickly I saw the potential for the depth in it. Now, big problem is on Switch, at least is the version I got. It crashes
frequently.
I don't think the average player will go through more than an hour of gameplay without crashing.
I tried the game twice and it crashed 50% of the time.
That is not he's not lying. Yeah, I was there to witness that. And it seemed like I went to Twitter and I went online and did a couple of searches about the issue, and yeah, on Twitter they're addressing it, and literally it's the 6th, last night and the 5th, they said, so it looks like we've found the solution and we're going to try and push the patch out as soon as we can. It sounds like, from following their Twitter feed, since December they've been having problems trying to get this patch out, or trying to figure out what has been the problem, then trying to get it out, trying to release the patch. And it looks like things are finally happening, though. Just the last thing says, hey, we're going to release it ASAP. No actual date, no time or anything. And that was as of the 5th, which was yesterday.
Cool. So if they fix it, yeah, this game, it's very easy to jump into it. The music is really catchy, but it doesn't sound like it should be in the game. It just
the song was
cheerful.
Yeah, and it did. I did notice that when we fought Slash, which is the game's other antagonist or protagonist, the second character title on the title.
Yeah.
The other one, when we met him up, the music did change, so it seems like there's more than just the one battle song. Yeah. But yeah, I could do with some other background music in that game.
Yeah, I didn't get tired of it, but I'm assuming another level would have a different song.
I'm hoping that that's the case.
Yeah.
The sounds aren't anything to write home about. This is a really weird clash or contrast with Dandara. The sounds in Dandara seriously are effing like the sound itself a 10 when everything's said and done in Dandara. Hard and Slash, like, I can easily, like, this feels amateur or generic sometimes. None of the sounds are annoying or grating or terrible. Just, there's nothing special about them. There's no real motif or theme to them. They're just, hey, that sounds like metal clanking on something else. That sounds like wood clanking against another thing. Whatever. Yeah. The heart of Heart and Slash is the gameplay and the mechanics, and those are pretty solid or solid enough. Without the crashes, I would have said a lot more, I think, about this, because then also I would have known a lot more about the game. I've played it, I probably have about like 4 or 5 hours into it, and that is including the crashes. So I still want to play this game really bad, but also I can't tell anybody right now to buy it for Switch in its current state.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's risky right now. So is that all you wanted to say? I
did some Breath of the Wild Champions Ballad, finally. I started some of those, and I didn't realize how different they were going to be from the regular, like, Shrine Quest and such.
Yeah.
You find the dude with that big Rito guy with the accordion.
Oh, I love his song.
Yeah, it's always great to hear it. It always sounds nice to hear it going on like in the distance and then getting closer to it. But, oh no buts. Yeah, found him, talked to him, started up the missions, and this new shrine showing me like a couple of images and pictures of how to get to where I need to go. Or it was just different because it has the 3 pictures topographically of the map, but you have to scan your actual map, and so that then you know where to place your marker to get there. And it's kind of a new, different thing. You have to be really familiar. It demands a little bit of intimacy with the map to get to be that good at it. But it wasn't too awful. Like when you take some major checkpoints or major, I guess checkpoints are the words, and compare them to their locations on the map. Pretty quick, pretty easy to get there. But the challenges that they have are actually a lot more varied and like fun, I guess, different than what you got on the normal disc. Like one of the first ones I did for Gerudo was another sand seal race, and that was actually pretty fun because it took me across like a lot of the desert.
Cool.
King Molduga. I killed King Molduga, and that was fun.
There's a king?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, when you get the DLC, you go down, you find Tracy, the rumor mill girl.
Yeah.
She's chilling in Gerudo on top of a mesa right there. So you get up there and you talk to her, and she talks about a new kind of or a particular Molduga that blades can't pierce.
Oof.
Yeah, and so when you're fighting against it, tons of blades are in its back, just stuck in there.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And its thing is basically it's more rock than it is flesh.
Ooh.
So using boulder breakers and two-handed clubs, that's how you do that one in easier.
Nice.
Yeah, sorry for the spoilers there. But yeah, I can't wait to keep up with those. I thought they were just going to kind of be some more cinematics and maybe a few more just regular shrines.
Yeah.
Like any other. No, these are pretty cool. And this last Gerudo one that I'm in is a really long electric puzzle. I have never seen any other puzzle like it. And I'm sitting there staring at it, actually not knowing what to do. All the other puzzles takes you less than a minute, less than a few seconds to like, okay, I just get that there. And now you're like, the next 3 minutes is you just working on that solution you figured out right away. I was playing that one for half an hour and still don't know how to get through that puzzle. Wow. I'm going to probably look it up.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't tell me what to do.
I guess. Anyway, so it sounds like it's actually a substantial addition to the game.
Yeah, I didn't. I picked it, or I've been playing it like passively, Breath of the Wild, and just going through the side quests. And then I noticed this weird other different kind of one, and I'm like, what the and then that's when this whole thing's okay. That's the Champion's Ballad, because I just bought the thing kind of blindly.
Yeah.
And I applied it right away, and I tried the master trial, the sword trial right away.
Yeah.
Got my ass handed to me and just decided to forget about the DLC.
Forget this, I don't want it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
And then I just happened to run into this by accident, and yeah, fun times.
Cool. All right, so I was playing Lost Castle. This is a game from like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, what? This is not ringing any bells at all.
It's a roguelike on Steam.
Okay.
So that might be why. The graphics are super cartoony. They don't look great. Everything looks kind of flat. And there's a story at the beginning that is pretty inconsequential, like as far as roguelikes go. Like you don't really need a huge story. Mm-hmm. It can help, but in this case it isn't. But basically you start in a prison cell. You have a random weapon and a random face, because the game is meant to be played co-op, but I'm reviewing it, so it's kind of like dead. The game is kind of dead. There's nobody else playing online right now. The game by itself is okay. It's fun. The problem I have with it is your weapons are not balanced very well, I think.
Real quick, before you keep going, it says castle. What time era are we talking?
Like medieval. Demons have invaded a castle. You're trying to take it back.
Cool.
So this game is a bit like Rogue Legacy. If you ever played that one, you are basically you're a family that's trying to defeat a castle. So you're picking your heir, and whatever money you collected, you can use to upgrade your personal castle, and that gives you better stuff to start with, or you unlock other classes you can play as. In this one, you can unlock. So far, it's been a blacksmith, a thief, and a potion maker, apothecary, I guess. So you buy those guys, and so the next time you start your game, your run, they give you stuff. You can give you another weapon, a chest full of items, and a potion. Beyond that, like there's a bunch of smaller passive upgrades, like you get +1 attack or defense or critical. So that stuff's not quite as impactful, but the guy giving you the extra weapon is good because, like I said, the weapons don't feel equal, and that's expected to a point where I think going through the dungeon, it's good to find a stronger weapon, but it shouldn't be where like, oh, I don't have a wand, I'm just going to die and start over until I get one. Because the wand so far has been incredibly powerful, where it's just unleashing this barrage of like fire or ice attacks. And you can like take a boss out super quick with that. The game is fun and it's responsive. Some of the attacks have weight to them, so you can't just like move out of the way if your attack misses. But it's not nearly as bad as like a Dark Souls or a Monster Hunter.
Is there you can't cancel, but also it's not gonna as long in general?
Yes. Although it still can hurt you, where if somebody's like throwing a bomb at you and you missed, and yeah. The game overall is pretty fun. I'm gonna review it favorably. It takes a minute to find that fun. Where at first, like I played, I was like, this is from like 2-3 years ago. This is awful. Like this was dated even when it came out. But playing it now, like I got into a rhythm, and it is fun. You just take a minute to like figure out all the mechanics and how everything works, and like what things you can not exploit, but like just learn the systems basically. And there's just a bunch of items and armor, and like the only thing the biggest complaint I have is there's potions in the game. Kind of like Binding of Isaac, where if you pick up a pill or a tarot card, it doesn't tell you what it does. It just tells you like it's a white pill or it's the tower.
It describes it visibly. It's like, I can see that.
Yes. The effects are unknown, so when you drink it, you could be taking a huge gamble. I think that once you've had that potion once, I don't know if it changes the effect every time you play, but if you have the potion once and they are always the same, it should just tell you the next time,
yeah,
oh, this is the thing that like reduced your defense by 3 or poisoned you or made you move slower. Like, I was fighting a boss. I was having a really good run. I made it past the second of 5 floors or dungeons or whatever, or levels. I was on the 3rd boss, and so I was like, okay, I'm in a bit of trouble. I should use these potions. I had like 4 potions. All of them were negative effects. I ended up dying because I got screwed over by all the potions. Like,
you literally drank too much.
Yeah. And so it would be nice if there was some sort of consistency there, because now I just never ever want to use potions again. And there are some that are useful. There's one that like you recover 50% of your max health over the next like 10 seconds. So that's awesome. Like, if I mean, just good potions, but there are bad ones too, and now I don't ever want to use them. So the game itself is kind of cool. The cartoony graphics, like it's not appealing, but overall the game is pretty fun. But I feel
like when it comes to potions, the label should be a big factor on whether
weren't even labeled.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that should be considered if you're gonna throw in potions and random effects. I feel that labels should be just as big a gamble on there. They should be always included on these, and or at least always be a possible factor. Like, some of them should be labeled. 90% of them should be what they're going to be labeled. Some of them should be unlabeled, leaving it to be random chance. And then like 2% mimic style. It's got a label and is an outright lie.
Or even like, this will affect your attack. I don't know if it's going to increase it or decrease it, but at least you know.
Oh, okay.
This isn't going to poison you to
some
death.
Form like levels of specificity.
Yeah, that would be cool. I don't know. That's just a gripe I have with the game. It's mostly fun. It's just small irks with it, and
I think because that potion thing isn't exclusive to that, right? Like you said,
like
on
Isaac,
it's pills instead, right?
Yes.
And then I was actually playing Pac-Man,
Oh no.
a maze game. And yeah, it was. Oh my God, Pac-Man is a roguelike. Um,
Well, the maze is always the same, at least in the original.
yeah, but where they're gonna go is always randomly
That's
generated,
okay.
and where
Whatever.
they,
No, they all have actually behavioral programmed programs.
depending on the version you play.
Anyway, so yeah, I played Lost Castle. That was an older game, but it's still pretty fun. It's like $10 on Steam. Um, yeah, if you have friends, I that would be it would
What
be fun to
score are you
play.
gonna give it?
Probably like a 7,
Okay,
which is it's not bad, but it's just there's some stuff.
it's got some problems you have to wade through.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I also played Iconoclasts, which is funny. We were talking about Dandara because this is a game that also feels like Metroid.
Uh-huh.
It's basically Metroid with melee weapons mostly. Actually,
That's-
no, there's guns and bombs too, which you use to break open walls.
Okay.
Huh. So this game is about a world in which the main character has a wrench. She fixes things, but that is not okay with the main government/religion. The game is called Iconoclast, which I believe is like an icon, like a religious icon.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone seems to be reverent towards the idea of fixing things. So because this character fixes things on her own, she is considered a sinner. She's a heathen, and I think her father was killed in an accident because he was a fixer. But the religion, at one point, your brother tells you, he gives you a slip to go buy a battery, basically. You have to go to the church, give them the slip, they give you the battery. So it seems like anything, they basically made a religion of making people rely on them.
Right.
And otherwise you're gonna go to hell or something. Somebody, so your main character fixes things in a certain village, and the first time you visit it, somebody's wife has passed away because the house was destroyed. The house was destroyed because God was unhappy with that person.
Quote unquote.
Yes, like I think the lady had gone like picking mushrooms or something, and like that was apparently bad, and she deserved to die. Like it's horrible what the people in the game like consider acceptable. What they consider acceptable because their religion says so.
Right.
And so far, like I've partied up with 2 people, and it's less. It's not. It's a platformer, an action platformer with some Metroidvania elements, and the partner that I had the first helped me in a boss fight, and was a pirate. The second person that I've partnered with so far is, I think, a member of that religion. Like he's a higher up, but he doesn't know that I am like a heathen, basically.
Okay. He doesn't know you're a fixer.
Yes, and I don't think he wants to be who he is. Like the whole thing, I think, is the game is about fighting your predestined fate.
Okay.
Like, so this kid was born to be
No one has
a
a
religious
disposition?
leader. Yeah, and you were born to fix things or something, and the pirates are born to just spit in the face of religion. And I think the whole idea is that you are not, who you are is not determined from the moment you're born. Who you are is supposed to be figured out by you and not by your religion or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So far, it's a very good game, and some stuff has happened that I'm just like, oh, like it's good. And I don't want to say too much because spoilers. So go play it. It's like $20. It's on PS4. I think it's on Switch and PC.
Yeah, I do believe it's on Switch, and I wanna get it really bad now. Even more so, I didn't know that was the background or the plot of it.
Yeah.
And you have no like. I'm for those who don't know, I'm a mechanic for my day job, and it's like you have no idea how many conflicting ideas I have with my own personal beliefs and the way companies like this run. And it feels like okay, only certain people can fix things, and the things that are going to be fixed need to be known and documented in a thing. They need to be controlled and governed by a body. It feels. I felt a lot of weird things that I don't think that the other guys feel over there, because that's been their whole life. Me, I'm coming from an office background and going into a garage. It's like, you guys, there's some things about the way they run things that you guys should probably need to step back and take a look at.
Yeah, it's a good game so far. I've only played a couple hours, so I don't want to really give any definitive opinion about it, but so far I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm going to give that a try.
Yeah, you should. And I think that's it. That's about all that we played this week. But there are a lot of games coming out in the coming week that I think I'm looking forward to. Some of these.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Yeah, probably.
I think.
Anyway, Wednesday, March 7th, that's tomorrow. Way of the Passive Fist is coming to Xbox One. I believe that's already out for PS4.
It's a damn great name.
That is a cool name. Nine Parchments is also coming to Xbox One. That is a co-op spellcasting, like, fun. I think it's a dungeon crawler. Mm-hmm. Thursday, March 8th, we got 3D Mini Golf coming to PS4 and Audio Beats coming to PS4.
Where's Audio Beats?
Probably an audio game, some sort of rhythm game. The next games, it's Thursday, so the rest of the games for the day are for Switch. You got World Conqueror, Bleed 2, iZombie, no relation to the DC Comics/TV show.
I was going to ask.
Midnight Deluxe, Stairden Binary Stars, ACA Neo Geo Real Bout Fatal Fury, that's all one name. Bit Dungeon Plus, The Trail Frontier Challenge, which I have played on iOS and it's actually fun. The Men of Yoshiwara Ogiya, and Earthlock.
What is that?
Which one?
The Men of Yoshiwara. Why is it called that?
We'll have to look it up.
That sounds like a title for... that sounds like it's going to be erotic.
It sounded more like a documentary kind of thing.
Oh,
anyway.
I guess, yeah, that could happen.
An erotic documentary. Friday, March 19th, you got One-Eyed Kutka. It's Kutkh.
That almost sounds like a very, very bad... Yeah.
Yep.
Kutka.
PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Flint Hook coming to Switch.
Flint Hook!
That looks cool.
No, I don't... I want to play it, but there's no time.
Turtle Pop Journey to Freedom for the Switch. Spy Chameleon for the Switch. Darwin Project for the Xbox One. And Train Sim World Founders Edition for the Xbox One.
Is Darwin Project a Fortnite?
It's a battle royale.
Okay, yeah.
But it looks like there's one player that's controlling like the scenes. It's basically
so there's
Seneca
a director.
Crane. Yeah.
Nice.
And it looks like it's a smaller scale. I don't know if it's 100, but I think it's less people. Okay, so the weekend is pretty quiet, but Tuesday, March 13th, that's a week from today, we got Golem for the PS4, Pure Farming 2018 for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, the 25th Ward, the Silver Case coming to PS4, Devil May Cry HD Collection coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC, The Raven Remastered for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, Beast Quest for Xbox One and PC, Spiral Splatter for Xbox One and Switch, Danmaku Unlimited 3 for Switch, and Coffin Dodgers for the Switch.
Coffin Dodgers.
That sounds terrible.
That's a fun game I used to play when I was a kid.
The ones I'm looking forward to is The Trial and Flint Hook. Yeah.
Flint Hook is definitely the shining spire of anticipation here for me.
Yeah. There's a lot of games. Hopefully most of them are good. Some of them on Switch probably will be, like Flint Hook and The Trail. The Trail is weird. It's this game where you're running from like camp to camp, it's basically Oregon Trail, but it's just one person running. Right. And you're not going to die of dysentery or anything, but you have to find resources and stuff so you don't get cold and like freeze to death.
That is
because
odd.
If you do, you go back to the previous camp. Another thing too is that like you're finding resources, you can craft things out of them, like a shirt.
Shirt.
Yeah, or you can make artisan stuff. Like you can craft stuff out of wood, like I think a bunny, like a sculpture. You can sculpt. Sorry.
Can you make artisan bread?
I think eventually, yeah. But basically, the more you sell, the more you make something, the better it is. So it sells for more. So when you go to a camp with people, you guys trade, and it's this game where you're putting stuff on a conveyor belt that's going to a grinder.
Okay.
So if your stuff doesn't sell, you still get some money for it, but the closer it is, the more value it depreciates. So you want to put stuff as far from the grinder in case somebody else wants to buy it. You'll make the most money off it. And even if no one else buys it, you're still making, like probably 60%, 70% of the value off of it.
You got a minimum that you're going to take from it.
Yeah, which is still not bad. So like I basically was just making bunnies left and right, ended up making a bunch of money. But I wasn't making anything that people would actually want. No one's going to want the bunny. It doesn't do anything except for you can sell it. So, see, that's the thing, too, because then they might buy it when it's close to the thing and then put it back out further away. It's a weird thing. But the game is pretty cool. I eventually got to a town, and then, like, at that point, I became, like, a craftsman in that town. So I had to, I think I was a blacksmith or something. So you have to actually, like, make stuff in your like workshop instead of on the trail. But if you need more materials, that's the best place to go, is go back to the trail and like look for more stuff. It was cool, and it was weird because there is even this part where you're writing letters to people or like to your sister back home, and you pick stuff that happens, or like, oh, like my trip so far has been like wonderful, terrible, like sick, like, like, stuff like that. Like if you basically craft the story that you're telling to somebody.
My trip has been sick. I'm trying to get it someday, Quill. It doesn't want to take it.
So yeah, it's a cool game. It was free on iOS. I don't know how much they're going to charge for it on the Switch. And the thing too is that because it was on iOS, other people are playing. So as you're running, you can see other people running past you.
Oh, nice.
And you can stop to like cut down a tree for wood. If somebody else was doing that, like I would take the wood before they left the mini game screen. Yeah.
So every time you do a thing, you're preoccupied with a mini game that's taking up the screen anyway, and then people can screw you over right there.
Yes. Although I think everything that you carry, your backpack everything has durability. So like if you have a bigger backpack, it's eventually going to break. So one time I was carrying a bunch of stuff and my backpack broke, and it got to a smaller default size. A bunch of my stuff popped out. So then people just started taking it. I was like, no, I need my bunnies. Like, it was a really fun game.
Your only option is to leave it all behind, right?
Yes.
You once you leave and come back, it's gonna be gone.
That's another thing. The screen was like, so that backpack I had, the bigger one, it allowed you to stack items of the same type. So you could just stack a bunch of bunnies and it would take up one slot. But it's basically like a physics game where it drops stuff in.
Yeah.
So as much as you can carry without it toppling off the top, you could carry with you. The game is like legit cool, and it's worth like an hour of your time at least. It's free on the iOS. Check it out. On Switch, I'm not sure what it's going to be, but it was cool on the phone. So this is definitely a game to look at. Yeah, so that's it for us this week, I think. Right?
Yeah, that was a weird way to end it. It ended up turning into another small review.
Yeah, the game is dope, and I don't want it to go unnoticed.
Cool.
On the Thursday avalanche of games.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, thank you guys for listening. This has been the GameGO podcast, where we talk about video games and whatever else we want. I'm Sonorith.
I'm H8BitHero.
We are GameGo. If you have any questions, comments, concerns you want to hear us talk about them on the show, please email us at gamegopodcast@gmail.com. Or you can tweet at us at GameGo11, and go to GameGoPodcast.com to contact us, because all of our contact info, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, it's all on that website.
It's all up there.
Yeah. So thank you guys for listening. You guys are great, and we love making the show for you guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a good week. Be safe. Have fun. See you guys.
Bye.